Last night, on November 3rd, 2022, I was awarded the prestigious Marconi Award you can see behind me at a gala event in Berkeley University. I had prepared an acceptance speech, but after seeing a video showing some past memories, I became very emotional with tears. And because of a recent eye surgery, I could no longer read my prepared speech and hastily delivered the speech from memory and forgot half of what I planned to say. So I'm posting this video to cover what I failed to mention. Let me start with thanking Berkeley University, especially the Haas School of Business, for generously providing the venue and helping organize the gala and a two-day symposium focused on digital inclusion and digital equity. A special thank you to Laura Chiodo, Director of Research at the Institute for Business and Social Impact, for bringing a multidisciplinary team of researchers to the symposium, Dan Cassara and Cynthia Okita of Berkeley University, Paolo Rainman and Chantal Bean of Marconi Society, Don Lee of Mimic Technology, and all the other amazing people that helped organize the symposium and the gala. It's an honor for me to receive this priceless award. I've admired the work of Marconi Society, its mission and impact on digital inclusion and bringing internet to billions of people worldwide. I've always had great respect for Marconi Fellows and their massive contributions and feel privileged and honored to join them on their mission. I've admired many Marconi Fellows from afar, and several I've known for many years as partners and mentors, namely Professor Parraj and John Cioffi of Stanford University, Dean Andrea Goldsmith of Princeton University, and the great Marty Cooper. I would like to thank the selection committee of the Marconi Society, who I'm sure had many brilliant and deserving candidates, and all the individuals who provided obviously great references for me. A big thank you to Faye Arjumandi, founder and CEO of Mimic, not only for nominating me, but also for selflessly devoting her life to inventing and developing technologies with real impact, envisioning the future of cloud computing and citizens' rights for data monetization and privacy long before anyone I know, and founding and convincing me to join Mimic. And to my dear friend Ori Sasson, who brought the first major investment to Mimic and has been a partner on our mission for 8 years. Alan Salmasi, Kathy Wood, and our other investors, and the incredible team at Mimic, who placed their passion, expertise, and focus to ensure a sustainable and inclusive cloud computing infrastructure for the future. A big thank you to my teachers and educators who taught me very valuable skills at Tehran's Khwarizmi High School, my alma mater, Sharif University of Technology, Universidad Complutense de Madrid, and the Department of Electrical Engineering at the University of British Columbia, UBC, where I spent 7 wonderful years. I would also like to thank my former colleagues and team members at NPR Teltech, McCaw Cellular, now AT&T Wireless, Cadence Design Systems, Vivato, Intel Mobile Wireless Group, Vodafone Group R&D, Mimic, and Wells Fargo R&D. And all the academics, researchers, and scientists and engineers that built upon my work and supported me against naysayers. Special mention to Thomas Alberti, Wahid Tarokh, Nambi Seshadri, and Rob Calderbank. And to the engineers who worked tirelessly to get my inventions adopted into standards and build them into products. Without them, none of my accomplishments would have had any impact whatsoever. But the biggest thank you goes to my mother, Atiye, of course, for bringing me into this world, but more importantly, for her unconditional love and not suppressing my exaggerated curiosity and doubt when I was growing up. And my late father, Ahmad, who introduced me to books and literature and encouraged me to read and learn, but never forced me to believe. They tolerated my curiosity and doubt. They didn't scold or punish me when I told them that I didn't believe in Islam or any other religion, and put up with my teenage rebellion. I had an incredibly happy and privileged childhood and grew up with unconditional love from my parents and siblings and family. In 1979, my happy childhood turned into a nightmare when I was only 70. The Iranian Revolution, which initially started with a call for freedom, was hijacked by the mullahs. In the April of 1980, I was expelled from Sharif University and was summoned to appear in court. I refused and instead worked on a plan to escape from the country, and in September of 1982, along with 4 other friends, we escaped through the Pakistani border, where I was infected with amoebiasis and became nearly fatally ill when I arrived in Madrid. I'd like to thank the late Dr. Rafael Macias, who saved my life. If not for his selfless decision to accept personal responsibility for my care, I would have most likely died under surgery, and to the staff of the Hospital General Universitario de Gregorio Marañón, who treated a penniless refugee with no medical insurance as one of their own children and brought me back to health. And Isabel Tomasic Ocaña, my loving nurse, who stayed back after her shift every night to teach me Spanish, and to the mothers of my friends who gave me love like one of their own and made me feel at home in Spain. My experience in Spain made me an advocate for the humane and loving treatment of refugees. I decided to get into communications in the early days of mobile data because I could imagine what a powerful tool we could make for positive social change. Access to information and education could lead to knowledge and hence progress. The best way to ensure peace and prosperity for all is to stop the spread of ignorance and superstition and replace it with facts, art, literature, and science. We can empower people to unlearn the lies, superstitions, hatred, discrimination, identity politics, jealousy, envy, and arm their beliefs with knowledge, love, mutual respect, compassion, facts, arts, and science. I'm proud of what we have accomplished together, bringing fixed and mobile internet to the majority of the world population with monumental impact on their lives. Internet has transformed the way we communicate, learn, play, and shop. It has brought access to seemingly infinite information on every subject and in every field. It has proven to be more powerful, impactful, and transformational than we had ever imagined. However, internet has been hijacked by bad actors who have taken advantage of the platform to spread disinformation, lies, conspiracy theories, superstitions, hatred, and division. As a result, it has been a double-edged sword that helped make many people much smarter and many ignorant people even more ignorant. ISIS used social media networks to recruit as many as 30,000 young people to travel to Syria and Iraq and commit genocide thousands of miles away from their homes. Hundreds of girls traveled voluntarily from Western countries to become ISIS brides. In the United States, all extremist organizations from Nazis, the KKK, Proud Boys, QAnon, and others have been recruiting and spreading lies and conspiracy theories, convincing tens of millions of Americans that Clintons drink babies' blood, that the 2020 elections in the US were rigged, that pharmaceutical companies are hiding the connection between vaccines and autism, that agricultural companies are hiding the negative effects of genetically modified foods, that President Obama was not born in the US, that Ted Cruz's father assassinated John F. Kennedy, and that the Holocaust never happened. Can you believe that 20% of millennials in the US are not sure whether the earth is round? In the early days of the bloody attack on Ukraine, most Russians believed that Ukraine with a Jewish president is a Nazi state, and that Putin had waged a special operation to denazify Ukraine and free them from the hands of Nazis. We are in the midst of an absolutely dangerous period of history with unprecedented socio-political polarization in the United States and rest of the world that has brought United States to the verge of a civil war and the world much closer to a third world war. Unfortunately, we, the techies in Silicon Valley, the venture capital community, social media, networks, and many large tech companies are all accountable. We need to re-examine our priorities and get back to our roots, to the days when Silicon Valley was mission-driven for positive social change and impact, when scientists with years of experience would develop life-changing technologies, and our success was measured by increasing efficiencies in vertical industries and improving people's lives, not grabbing eyeballs to turn people into products and selling ads at any cost, or killing established highly efficient industries and replacing them with inefficient digital monopolies. We left the future of communications to people with no life and social experience whatsoever, invested in pyramid schemes and cryptocurrencies, and played to people's worst traits of greed and fear of losing out to create fake companies and economies, created a $1 trillion data broker industry that scrapes, steals, and sells people's often stale and inaccurate data to help brands sell ineffective advertising that does nothing but annoy people, with click-through rates of 0.5% compared to over 40% in the early days of internet. In other words, out of 200 ads that are pushed to people, only one gets opened, and the only thing the rest does is to create carbon footprint, ruin people's experience with content, and tarnish the reputation of the brands that play for those ads. This is absolutely insane. These are some of the issues we discussed in our symposium for a decade of digital inclusion on November 2nd and 3rd. I highly encourage you to listen to these panels on the Marconi Society webpage. I personally learned a lot from those discourses. We heard from many scholars, scientists from various fields, entrepreneurs with ideas on how to go beyond digital inclusion and address digital equity, make sure that internet remains a source of information and a vehicle for positive social change, to stop bad actors and fraudsters to use it as a tool to spread lies and to destroy our planet. We agreed that we need to examine the business model of internet much more carefully and revisit the ad-driven business model and the two-sided business model, the quest for eyeballs and feeding information to people that they like instead of the information they need, facts and science instead of lies and beliefs. That we measure real metrics for personal freedom, happiness, mental health, and wealth equality along with the return on investment when we invest in new technologies and platforms. Despite all this, we should have no doubt whatsoever that internet is a powerful tool for social good. We can see how the internet has helped young Iranian people start the first woman-led revolution in the world. The first thing the Iranian regime did to suppress the uprising was to limit access to internet, like most dictators do. kudos to the brave women and mostly young people that have stood strong against one of the most brutal dictatorships in the world and have found creative ways to inform the world of their plight, to eradicate gender apartheid, and to become an example for the rights of women and life and freedom for all mankind across the globe. I'm proud to tell you that an application that we developed called Mimic Access has received sanctions relief from the US Department of State and Treasury, and as we speak is being localized and optimized by a talented group of software developers to let people communicate and share content through Wi-Fi with no internet. I would also like to announce that my award from the Marconi Society will be used to produce a promotional music video for digital equity and freedom with the legendary artist, poet, musician, and political activist Shaheen Najafi. In collaboration with United East, a non-profit organization I co-founded with Faye Arjumandi, Sam Armani, and the accomplished artist and musician Erwin Khachikian. In fact, we had initially planned for Shaheen to perform the song at the gala last night, but given the bloodshed in Iran, we decided to do this at a later time when we can celebrate victory instead of mourning the loss of many, mostly young people that we have lost in the uprising. I'm proud to receive the Marconi Prize and pledge to you that I feel even more energized with this recognition to dedicate the rest of my life to work with techies, social scientists, economists, artists, entrepreneurs, policymakers, lawmakers to ensure a sustainable internet that is much more resilient to the spread of disinformation and that would ensure freedom for all of us across the globe. I also pledge that I will take the award, this award that is behind me, to Iran and place it in the Ministry of Communications of the new, free, and democratically elected and secular government when it's established, hopefully soon. To woman, life, freedom. زن، زندگی، آزادی. ژن، ژیان، آزادی.